Hey folks, it's Chris here with Our Little Lodge, and Tammy's with us today. She's running our camera. Thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome.
We wanted to make a video. It's been a while since we made one. We do apologize. You know, we had a lot going on springtime. We moved our oldest daughter to Kansas between work and daily life. We've just not been able to produce the videos that we wanted to for you folks, but you know, spring is here, the weather's getting better, and we're out in the garage working. So if you'll remember, in video 1, we talked about our Cummins engine, and we showed it to you. We showed you our books, and we let you know we were going to tear it down and send it to the machine shop. Now in that video, I stated that I'm not going to walk you guys through the complete tear down and reassembly because I feel like it would be boring for y'all. A lot of the videos would probably be in excess of 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And I know I'm the kind of viewer that when I watch these videos, you know, after a while I get bored. So I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to make sure I kept y'all's attention with us and that you'd watch the full video. So I want to address a few things today. First, I want to let you know that the engine is all tore down, but it did not make it to the machine shop over winter like we had hoped. So what we're planning on is this spring to get it to the machine shop. Again, I've already driven the cam bushing out. On the 6BT it only has one. I've taken off all of the plugs, all of the freeze plugs, everything that can come off that I've taken off. So it's ready just to go and be cleaned, checked, and honed if needed be. Bored, which God forbid we really don't want to have happen, but if they do, we'll put a minimal bore on it, nothing excess, and then we'll get that back and we can start rebuilding it. So in keeping with that, I wanted to show you today's mail call real quick as it pertains to the engine. Okay, so with that, we've already started buying a lot of the bushings. We have all of our wrist pin bushings for the rods. We do plan on reusing the rods. Everything looks really good inside the engine. So we don't anticipate we're going to have a lot of problems. But we are using Cummins parts, factory original parts. So again, we've got wrist pin bushings. We do have a block hardware kit here. I'll open that up and share that with you today. A lot of this is your freeze plugs. It may be hard to see in the video, but there's your cup plugs. We've also got some small cup plugs here. And again, folks, this is all Cummins parts. Everything is Cummins that we're going to be using on this here. I'm not saying that we're not going to put no aftermarket goodies on because we are. But for the bulk of our parts, we are going to use Cummins. So I wanted to share that with you. That addresses the engine. I know I've gotten some feedback, but hey, what happened? Where are you at on the engine, and are you going to do that? Yes, we are. Again, I apologize. We just stalled out, but we will get that to the machine shop this spring, and we can get that taken care of, and hopefully we can start building on that. So that addresses, well, what have you done in, I don't know, 8 or 9 months since the last video you made? Well, if you'll remember, I told you that we were going to have some auxiliary boxes behind that transmission. And the one thing that we did do over winter is I had bought a Ranger box. Now, guys, listen. Sometimes when you make deals over the internet, you're going to get burned. And I got burned. And I'll explain that to you. What I was looking for was Advanced Adapters makes currently the Ranger Overdrive, and that's available in a 27% overdrive. And we knew we wanted that. But we also wanted to stack that with an Advanced Adapters Ranger Underdrive box, okay? Because I want a true under, over, and direct, okay? Where anything out on the market does not give you that. You either get over, or back in the day when Advanced made the box, you got an under. But then again, it was only an underdrive. You didn't get the overdrive with it. That was something totally different. So I found a guy out of Utah that claimed he had an Advanced Adapters Ranger box and he had the underdrive. Well, I was excited because they're very hard to find. So we got it in, and sadly, as I tore it down to rebuild it, we found out it was an overdrive. Now you say, well, how'd you find that out, Chris? Well, I contacted Advanced Adapters and I gave them the serial number off of the box. We took the serial number, and at that time they could not identify if it was an overdrive or underdrive because back then they didn't keep good notes. And I get that. Back in the 70s when these things were built, you know, it wasn't like today. So anyway, we did find out that the box was built in the 70s, which was really cool for us. We did some more homework. We did work with the folks at Advanced Adapters, and we got a breakdown. I'm going to share a breakdown with you right now. So I was able to get a breakdown of the gearbox. I identified a lot of the parts as they're here on the bench, you'll see. And as we go through this video, I'm going to talk about these parts here. The other thing we were able to score is an Advanced Adapters Ranger box booklet. You can't get these booklets anymore. Advanced Adapters didn't have this, nothing. I was blessed that many years ago my father had bought a Ranger box, and he kept his manual. Again, Advanced Adapters does not make this manual anymore, and you cannot get the information that is contained in this booklet. So I want to thank you to my father for keeping good records, and I want to talk about Advanced Adapters for a minute, folks. They make a good product, but I'm going to kind of get on a box here just for a minute. Bear with me. What I'm really upset with that's going on in today's society is when you watch TV, you pick up your favorite magazine, all they're telling you to do is go out and buy, custom products, whether it's a Curry 9-inch or, the Advanced Adapter Atlas box, and they're treating everyone like the old stuff is ridiculous. You shouldn't waste your time. You shouldn't waste your money. It's old technology. It's junk, and that is not true. So a friend of mine asked me the other day, he said, Chris, why should I watch the videos you make, man? Because everybody's doing a Cummins conversion. That's nothing new. Well, you're absolutely right. But we're asking you to watch our videos because, man, we're telling a story, right? We're going to show you the buildup of the truck. We're going to show you the buildup of Nugget, our travel vehicle that's going to go behind it. We're going to show you the camper. And this story is going to unfold live for you guys to watch and be a part of. And we're going to show you that the old technology is just as good, if not better, than the new technology. We're not going to say to anybody, oh, that's stupid, you shouldn't do that. Because you know what? If you're about buying new products, then go live your dream and do that. But for me, I'm an old gearhead, and I'm all about rebuilding, repurpose, and saving this old stuff because it's good quality stuff and it's heavy duty. All right? I'll give you an example. The NV 4500 transmission. It has a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,000 pounds. These Ranger boxes has a gross vehicle weight rating of 25,000 pounds. So that's ancient technology that a lot of guys don't want you to believe in. That's 10,000 pounds stronger than the NV. And everybody's been telling me I need to run an NV. I'm not going to do that. Why again? Because the NV only has 5 speeds. It has a granny gear, which the granny gear is still not as low as a Muncie 465. And it does have an overdrive. Okay, it's the same overdrive that I'm going to get out of my Ranger box, but again, it doesn't have the handling or the heavy duty capacity that these Ranger boxes do. So before I get into the box, I just kind of wanted to give my spiel a minute. Guys, I know we're all tired of the magazines. We're all tired of the TV shows. We're tired of the overpriced stuff that we can't afford. We're just regular folks out there working, right? We don't have that kind of money at our disposal, but they have forgotten about us. But not in my video series, not me and Tammy. We understand. We're right there with y'all, and we're going to build a truck that keeps all that cool stuff going, all right? So with that being said, let's turn our attention to the Ranger box, and I'll tell you what we found out. So, as I said, the cluster gear, this is our cluster. We found out that this has the wrong tooth count. We need an underdrive tooth count. No problem. We'll address that. We also found on this housing, I don't know if Tammy can get that for you, but you'll see a crack there. Hopefully you can see that crack. All right. We also found on our shaft that holds our cluster gear, again, I don't know if y'all can see all this damage here to this shaft. Oops. All right. So again, this guy told me this was all good. And you know what? Hey, it's okay. We're going to show you how to fix it. Let me show you the bearings. Folks, I don't know if y'all can see that bearing. Look how it's squared and flat and bent. Nah, that ain't no good. Thrust washers. They wore out. That ain't no good. The support bushing for the drive coupler. Look at that. Mushroomed out. No good. That's okay. We also have our synchro hub. Tammy, I don't know if you can get in on some of this. Let me walk these people through this. So again, folks, we got our cluster gear. We got a rear retainer. We got our bearings that support this. We got a drive coupler. This drive coupler indexes into the back of the input shaft, and then our throwout bearing, everything goes, or not our throwout bearing, but our rear thrust bearing goes on here. I'll walk you through that later. We got our bearings. We got our synchro hub assembly. This right here is an overdrive gear, but we need that to be underdrive. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. Again, this is your synchro assembly. That's your hub or your slider. There's your hub. There's your synchros. See, that's how you stack it, folks. All right, these are shift dogs. All right, those are also for synchros. No problem. We're going to fix it. Again, that back support bushing. No problem. We're going to fix it. This is your oil slinger. A little wore out. We're going to fix it. Thrust washers we're going to replace. Again, we got our shaft here for our cluster. This bushing goes on here. Look at that. It's broken. That thing should go from here to here. Something's wrong. We're going to fix it. Let me show you what we found. There's another piece of the spacer that you can see is broken. been chewed up. Here's what you call a wedding ring. This is a spacer for the bearing. I'll show you how it works real quick. You have a bearing on that shaft. You have a wedding ring on either side as a spacer. Okay, that keeps them from walking. And then that shaft goes through here. You put the bearings on there. And again, as I build this box, we're going to share that with you, so don't worry about it. But I just wanted you to kind of get an idea of what we're talking about here. This here, that's your bearing retainer for your front. You may say, well, why'd you take it off? We started cleaning it. We're going to put a new seal, new gasket. This is where you throw out bearing rides, but we're going to have to cut it because we're indexing it into the back of our overdrive. So if you were doing just the overdrive, you'd have to do the same thing on your transmission. We just got to do it 2 times, one for the underdrive box and one for our transmission. Okay, so folks, that's the workbench. Now let's talk a little bit about what we got going on. Again, let me share the case with you. Here's the case for this. Tammy, can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Folks, I don't know if you can get in here and see this. I don't know if you can see that damage. But inside there, it is all chewed up from them bearings. Inside here, I don't know if Tammy can get a view of that. It's scored. That's okay. It don't mean that's junk. No, that means we got to think about it a little bit. Alright, folks. So here we go. I ain't going to ramble all day. But I'm excited, man. This is good stuff. Because this is the first piece. And then we got the overdrive. And then we got the transmission. Alright? So again, the way this is going to work, power from the engine into the underdrive box. An underdrive, when it's direct, is 1-to-1. When we split it, it's 17% deep. Okay? Then it's going to go through the overdrive box. Again, that box in direct is 1-to-1. When we slide it into overdrive, 27% overdrive. So we're splitting that 27%. Then we get into our transmission, which is a Muncie 465 4-speed granny gear tranny. All right. Again, in 4th gear, it's 1-to-1. So when all those boxes running down the highway, 1-to-1, other than the overdrive, which we'll pull that thing back and we'll be cruising in 5th gear with a 27% split. Okay. So again, you say, Chris, man, there's some wicked damage in that box. I wouldn't want no part of that. But that's okay, because like I said in these videos, we're going to show you what TV's not showing you. We're going to show you how you can fix this stuff. And how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to tell you. I've already talked to a machinist. He can machine me the shaft. Now, we're not machining a whole new shaft here. What he's going to do is mic out this center piece where it's virgin, and he's going to set that lathe, and he's going to trim off all this bad material where those bearings have welded themselves and crushed themselves on there. That's all that is. Now, see, they want you to believe that you can't get this stuff, which you can't buy this no more. But it's okay. We're going to make it, and we're going to show you. All right? Then when we're done, that same machinist is going to build me a proper sleeve. And that same machinist is going to build me a new set of wedding rings, which we call wedding rings for the bearings. Now, how are you going to replace these bearings? Well, it just so happens I got a couple good ones out of that box. So we're going to take this down to Whistler Bearing in Denver. We're going to have them match them up, and we're going to order a bag of bearings. Thrust washers, we're going to get them from Whistler Bearing. Advanced adapters, we contacted them when we started this project. They redid this bushing. That's good for us. You can no longer get this bushing. They've gone to a bearing. Give me a minute, we'll get to mail call, and I'll show you that bearing. Oil slinger, they still make this part of advanced adapters. We're going to order a new one. This retainer, the machinist who's going to do the shaft for the cluster, he's going to cut this for us. We'll begin business. Of course, new seal, new gasket. The bearings, we can buy them all day long, and we're going to order brand new bearings. We're not going to reuse them. So, the drive coupler is good. We've inspected it. We don't have any problems. We just got to clean it. Input shaft, I've already started cleaning it. That's why she looks so pretty right now. Nothing wrong with it. The synchros, the synchro hub assembly, we just bought a whole new kit. We'll show that to you in mail call. So now we're down to the cluster gear, and of course, if you'll remember, I showed you the overdrive gear, which we need to be underdrive. No sweat, fellas and ladies. I know you ladies be watching this too, and I appreciate that. Can't forget about y'all. So remember that gear whenever I'm talking to you. So there's an outfit out of Denver. Whenever you folks do this kind of stuff, don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Folks, we live in a day and age when you can build anything you want. There's guys that have CNC machines in their garages. So don't tell people, don't let people tell you that you're crazy and you can't build it. We found a company out of Denver. It's called G&K Machine, and they're a gear cutter. We're going to meet with them folks, and they're going to look at these gears. They're guaranteed they can make the gears. That's not a problem. The problem is how deep are our pockets, and can we do that? I believe it can be done pretty reasonable. I will say I know it's going to be a little hefty, but we're willing to put that investment into this box. With that being said, that's really going to be it. We'll have the gears cut. That'll give us the underdrive we need. The shaft will be machined. New bearings, again, all new parts. You guys, I've already talked about that. We're not going to beat a dead horse. The case. What we're going to do with the case is we're going to go in and build up that aluminum, remachine it. Boom. It'll be just as good as new, and we won't have no problems. Also, you may say, what about that piece that was cracked? Well, that's the rear retainer. Don't sweat it. We already contacted a friend of mine who turned us on to a local machine shop. Now, I'm not going to use their name because I don't know if they want me to, but they already made me a replacement piece. If you don't believe me, there's my broken one. There's my new one. So, the folks did a great job, right on the money. This machine shop is awesome, but they do not cut gears, and that's why we can't use them to do our gear cutting. So they mostly deal with CNC work and custom aluminum work. So they were the ones that built us a new retainer. We're thankful for that. And again, guys, don't sit back and say, oh man, I live in a small town, I can't do that. Well, guess what? I'm in a small town about 50 miles outside of Denver. There's nobody like that here. But I'm willing to go into Denver to get this work done. So if you're willing to do it, it can be done. All right, so on to mail call real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this box. Tammy, can you get that box in there for them?
Yep.
All right. So we got a hold of advanced adapters. I don't know, folks, if y'all can see this or not. Let me pull it out the bag. There's that bearing. That replaces that back support bushing for that drive coupler, which that I love. I'd rather have this. Again, brand new synchros in the bag. We got 2 of them. I'm not going to pull it out of the bag, but we've got the synchro hub and we got the slider. Perfect. I think that's it, wasn't it, Tammy?
I believe so.
Yes. Next, we're going to get the seals for the bearing retainers. Like I said, we're going to get the bearings. We'll share that with you in another video in mail call. Like you remember, Tammy stated in video 2, where Tammy did the camper, she talked about mail call. So on this video, that's our mail call. We wanted to show you the parts for the engine. We want to show you the parts for the underdrive box. Guys, again, listen, I appreciate y'all watching. I know I've run through it real quick. I hope you enjoy this video. I'm sorry it's been a while. But man, really, please watch our videos. Like us, subscribe, send your family, send your friends. Watch what we're doing because we're going to tell a story here. We're not just building a truck. We're not going to put this video on YouTube and fast forward it with some music. It's us. We're talking. We're live. We're telling you what's going on. And whatever happens, happens. And you're going to get to witness it. We're going to share everything with you. And we are super excited about this underdrive box. We've already bought an overdrive box. Don't worry about that. We'll share that later. But this is the next step beside the engine. And listen, if you folks want to see us do videos of putting this together and taking this stuff apart and walking you through each technical term, shoot me some info on it. Tell us, hey man, make a video of that stuff because we can do that. I'm a gearhead and I know what I'm talking about when I tell you all these products and I know what they're called. I'm not some guy on video going, well, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to put this over. I ain't that guy. I'm going to tell you like it is and call it the part that it is. So hey, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. I mean, we love it. Again, please send your family, send your friends, keep watching, give us that feedback, and thank y'all so much. And we're not going to wait this long for the next video because we're excited. Thank you and have a good day.